So let's move from there into this announcement from the White House, the US President alongside Bibi Netanyahu. And we are told a lot of the Arab leaders in concert to resolve the crisis in Gaza, bring an end to the war, get the bodies and the hostages, God help us if some are alive, home. How irrelevant, how impotent does the United Nations look, given that all the leaders of the world were there at UNGA, the week before, and they postured around the place on Palestine, and they were hand-wringing, and there was that ridiculous theatre of them storming out when Netanyahu got to his speech. But then outside the world body, you get a solution like this put on the table that shows that small and multilateralism works in a way that the UN doesn't anymore.
Yeah, so that's right, Peter. Mind you, the United Nations has always been like this, and the League of Nations was like it beforehand. The central contradiction in these bodies is that they can't do anything which the great powers don't approve of. That's both their strength and their weakness. If they could do things which the great powers didn't approve of, the great powers would leave and the bodies would have no relevance at all. But the great power veto means that all the action is with the great powers. So the United Nations General Assembly, which is dominated by dictatorships. Again, Albanese's bizarre speech to the United Nations, he said, this is a forum dominated by small and medium powers and it stands up to dictatorships. Well, no, it's not. It's dominated by the big powers and it doesn't stand up to dictatorships. It mainly functions as a forum for dictatorships. You get Syria on the Human Rights Council and China on the Women's Rights Committee and so forth. But the bottom line is, nothing good really happens in the world without the exercise of American power. Donald Trump's deal here is very promising. A lot of reasons why it might not work, and indeed it probably won't. But it is the most constructive thing to happen for 2 years in the Palestine context. Terrific deal for the Palestinians because it involves the Americans in the economic future of the Gaza Strip, which is absolutely fantastic. But is the Palestinian leadership smart enough to take the deal? Can Hamas be forced to take the deal? We don't know. But when America exerts itself, stuff happens. And this is a very good lesson of that.
A good lesson for our Prime Minister, why he needs to make friends, not enemies, with Donald Trump as well. I'll leave it there. Thanks, Greg.